Hey, how's it going? This is Josh with Lambda School. We're going to be talking about step-by-step instructions for installing Node, Yarn, and Less on your PC computer. So you notice I'm on the training kit here. You'll see step 1. This is inside of our module, I should say, learn to install Node, Yarn, and Less Watch compiler. So we're going to get all the way to compiling a project inside of our pre-processing project part 1. So by the end of this video, you should be able to get started on your project. All right, step 1, you'll need to install Node. You're going, what? What is Node? Don't really worry about what Node is right this second. I mean, ultimately, it's a JavaScript runtime built on Chrome's V8 engine, so you can read that if you want. But we're not going to be coding in Node, so to speak, but we will be using Node functionality. So go ahead and hit that download. We're going to do the 8.1.1 LTS. This is just going to be our latest stable version, so we're going to hit that. It's going to download in our bar down here. I'm going to run this. Takes a second to run. And once it gets up and running, we will see a little prompt that will help us install Node. Maybe I didn't click it hard enough. There we go. So we're going to say next. I accept the terms. Next. Yes, that's fine where I want it. Yep, I'm okay installing all these things and the size. Install. I get a little prompt from my operating system, Windows 10, that says, hey, can you install this? It's from an outside source, and I'm saying, yes, please install it. All right, it's going to copy over the files. Completed successful. So we're going to check the Node version in a second to make sure we got it. But first, I want us to now install Git Bash. Now, if you're on Windows, you have a command prompt. Problem is the command prompt doesn't have the bash shell functionality that we want for the Unix commands that we're going to run. So you'll notice as soon as you click that link, I have it setting right to a download page. And in the background here, this has been downloading. It is a full Git program that allows us to run the bash shell on our Windows PC. Okay, I'm going to hit next. In this case, it's saying all these are default. I haven't changed anything unique here. Just keep hitting next, next. This is interesting. It will override Windows tools like find and sort. So if you don't want to override these tools, you can just use it up here. But I'm fine overriding these tools because I'm only using this for my web development. What's really cool is this is going to allow me to use Git inside of my Windows command prompt, and I'll show you that in a second. Well, not Git, I should say, but Git and Unix tools. OpenSSL, that's fine. This is the checkout as commit Unix style line endings. It's fine for me. We could use our default console window. I'm going to use Minty, and I'll show you just why it's important. We're going to enable file system caching, Git credential manager, and symbolic links. Enable symbolic links. I'm going to install all that good stuff. If you feel you don't want any of those things, that's fine. Just make sure that we install the stuff for the command prompt, specifically for the bash commands that we need to run. Okay, I'm not going to review the release notes, but I'm going to launch Git Bash. And this is that Minty thing that we were talking about. Notice that I could have my command prompt open. This is just my default Windows command prompt. But now, because of what I did with my Git SCM here, I could now run commands like I couldn't before. So I can actually change directory into my documents folder, for example, and go to pre-processing or whatever I got. But just wanted to show you that that's there. In the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to check our Node version. So we're going to come back to our step-by-step process that I've built here. And it says after the installer is finished, open Git Bash and run node-v. Okay, node-v. Sweet. I'm version 8.11.1, which I know I just downloaded from here. So it worked. Cool. I'm going to shut down my Node window, my Git SCM window. And if you don't see some Node versions displayed in your Git Bash, restart Git Bash and try again. And I'll have to update this bullet because that's all you need to do. Step 3, install Yarn using the MSI installer. So click the link. Notice it takes you to the installer page. Hit Windows because we're doing a Windows install here. Note there are 3 options. One is the MSI, one is Chocolatey, and one is Scoop. We will not be using Chocolatey or Scoop because what we're doing does not require that. We just need the simple MSI installer. Notice it says if you use the installer, you must have Node. Guess what? We already did it. That was the reason we did it first. So we're going to hit this download installer button. We will get a yarn build 151 down here. I'm going to click it. I'm going to hit next. I'm going to agree to the terms. I'm going to let it go where it needs to go and hit install. My computer is going to say, are you sure you want to install it? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to hit finish. So no feature setup here unless you wanted to change your file directory there. But I recommend keep everything standard for now. Okay, we've just installed Yarn. At this point, once we've installed Yarn, open Git Bash and run yarn dash version. So yarn space dash version. Sweet, 151. That's exactly what we downloaded. So now we have confirmed that both Node and Yarn work. If at any time this doesn't work for you, it could be because you need to restart your computer, depending on the operating system and version you have and how updated you are with your updates. You just never know. So make sure you restart your computer if you ever get an issue at this point, I should say. Okay, installing less. You will see our commands have global in them. Please write the commands exactly as you see them. Global installing packages is ideal for our learning situation. As you learn more about Yarn in the future, you'll be able to use a lock file to control your packages. But for now, please use the global keyword. This is not on accident. I don't want us to work with node module folders at this point. I want us just to get the dang thing working. So in this case, we're going to open up Git Bash and run this command. So open it with me. I'm going to say yarn global add less. This is the Yarn syntax for adding something. Global is that keyword that allows us to not have node modules. If you even know what that means, now you know. If you don't know, don't worry. It doesn't matter right now. Hit enter and check it out. We can see we have a success installed less 301. Awesome, because we know that that is the latest, greatest version. Because if we go to Less's website, lesscss.org, we can see that they are now on version 3 right there. So we are totally current. All right, let's go check this out. Now that we've got that installed globally, install less watch compiler globally. All right, what this does is allow us to watch the less folder. And if anything changes in the less folder, it'll output to the CSS folder. That's what it does. I will explain this further in the guided demos. But for now, this is an install tutorial. We're not going to worry about that. So we're going to type in yarn global add less dash watch dash compiler. Make sure it's just like this. Otherwise, it won't be the same thing. Awesome. We have now successfully installed this one as well, as we can see here. Very cool. All right, we're moving along. Step 6, use less watch compiler on your project. So we did all these things so that we could actually run less on our machine. Step 6, let's go find the project to try this on. So I've already downloaded it. It's right here inside my folder structure. So it's on my local disk, users, my user computer name, my documents folder, and preprocessing part 1. This is straight from right here, preprocessing part 1. So I just forked it, cloned it, and now it's mine. All right, I want to show you something. We have an index.less file. Notice we have a less folder, okay? Less watch compiler looks at folders and the contents of the folder. So you must have a CSS folder and a less folder. Good news is the repo comes right out of the gate ready to go with it. So we don't have to worry about it. It's already there for you. Notice that our index.css file says, hey, compile your less file. It's telling you what to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back to our instructions. We've forked and cloned. We've changed directory, so let's do that really quick. CD for change directory, and I'm going to give you a cheat sheet for command line interface stuff with Bash. It's going to be inside of our training kit, so look for that. But we're going to change directory into documents. I know it's called pre-processing part 1. Notice it seems like I'm just typing like magic. That's because I just typed in PRE and then hit tab, and it auto-completed for me. It's a really cool feature. All right, notice that I'm inside the directory, and to prove it, I'm going to type ls to list out everything inside the directory, and you will see I have my CSS folder, my images folder, so check it out. It matches exactly what my File Explorer looks like. Awesome. Okay, at this point, now I can run this command. less-watch-compiler. So let's do it. Less watch compiler space. Now remember, it's looking for a less folder. So less folder. Then it's going to be looking for a CSS folder, and then there's this little trick at the end that has index.less. This says only compile that file. And I'll explain why that's important in another video, but not right now. So I'm going to hit enter. Now it's saying watching directory for file changes. Awesome. Our project is up and running. Let's go see that index.css file, and look at that. It has been overwritten. Our styles are in there now. So let's go to Great Idea. This is what it looks like right out of the gate. Let me refresh with our new compiled styles, and we are back in business. Pretty cool. Okay, guys, it is set up and you're ready to get working. Reach out to your project manager or your instructor if you have any questions. Thanks.